show in association with Leith Spirits. Am I?
Hi, I'm Colin.
Are you doing Colin Friday afternoon? You all set for the weekend?
I've got a day off tomorrow. I've got nothing to do, so I'm just going to sit and watch, well, football and rugby. That's the plan. That's the
That's
plan.
not
That's my plan, right? My wife's not home for work yet.
that's not a bad day at all.
We'll soon see
Really.
what plans is actually. That's my expected plans. Let's see what the actual plans are. But
Sometimes there's
XP,
a bit of a
uh,
discrepancy between the XP and the AP.
uh,
Right, what we're here to talk about is the preview of Scottish Cup weekend. We're away to Parkhead, along with 7,000 other Hibs fans, give or take. Pretty impressive crowd.
it's,
A bit of
I'm
backslapping
gutted.
about it, but
I'm not going.
you know,
Nah, Grace, my daughter's playing. She's got her
of course.
Edinburgh Derby on Sunday, 1:30 kickoff. Edinburgh Derby for the under 15s. So it's
See,
I know I'd love to be there, but it's an Edinburgh Derby as well. It's not even like I'm missing
aye,
like a run of the mill one. So um, aye, shite.
that's
But
understandable priorities, though, isn't it? Like when you're watching the Hibs, just a different
oh, I know,
different
I know.
iteration.
I'll hopefully get home to see most of it. I shouldn't have missed much at 1:30 kickoff, so should be done by
Aye.
3 o'clock. But so I'll maybe miss the first 20 minutes or so.
Right, let's have a look at our
That'll be
predicted lineup.
quality though. That atmosphere will be. I was at obviously at Ibrox when we done it in what
Hmm
2005 or six or something. I can't remember the year. Um, I was there that day, and that was obviously the result helped. That's why it goes down in
Aye,
history. Yeah. But so if we get beat, nobody's got to talk about it in 20 years' time.
this is true. This is true. Right, we picked the teams. So we picked the same teams. So I've only done the one graphic for us, rather than wasting time
Yep.
doing two. You talk me through why you picked the team the way you did.
Aye, because obviously I think I'm surprised you picked it when you mentioned that to me because um, the obvious option. Well, I'll come to it. I'll
I'm
read it out right.
I'm just noticing I didn't actually. I looked at the midfield forward.
Ah, right, okay,
I just assumed we would have the same back three. So
right.
there you
So
go.
I've went with Smith and goals, Bashiri at the right side, Ekpiteta in the middle, Iredale on the left, Miller at right wing back, Triantis and Raya Welsh in the middle, Nicky Cadden on the left, Campbell in behind Boyle and Bowie. And obviously the contentious ones here, Ekpiteta coming in. I just assumed O'Hora was injured,
Hmm
and that's why I've done that. The other option would have obviously been to drop Miller into the right side, the centre back, like where he finished the derby, and put Cadden in. But I thought Miller against Celtic in the wing back position's been quite strong, which is why I wanted to keep him there. And I thought, well, why not just chuck another big guy in at the back to clear everything that comes his way? But I could see why that would be controversial to some, taking maybe Bashiri out of his comfort zone in the middle, and also not bringing Chris Cadden in when you could just drop Miller back. I don't know if David Gray would do that. I just thought I'm assuming O'Hara's out. I've not watched David Gray's interview, right? I don't know if he is definitely out, but going off like that normally suggests you've got to be out for a couple of weeks anyway.
Well, it was a contact injury he had, wasn't it? So I suppose it depends how quickly it's settled down.
Yeah,
But if it's on the ankles can take a wee while to heal if you take a
yeah,
sore one on it. I went with O'Hara. Pretty much kept the same back three as has been starting recently, with Ardale, Bashiri in the middle, and O'Hara on the right. But then I'd put Miller in for Cadden on the right hand side. So I just think Miller generally has a good game against Celtic. He relishes the big games. He was really good against them at Easter Road
yeah.
a couple of weeks ago. And I quite like that midfield with Chantis and Mariah Welsh as well. I think when they settled down into the game against Hearts, they totally dominated the midfield. They were really comfortable.
Yeah.
Harder to do that against Celtic, but I think as long
I
as they're calm, then they're quite a good combination. I
I
wouldn't
was
be
impressed with
bringing.
sorry,
Sorry.
I was impressed with Mariah Welsh on
Mhm.
Sunday. I thought Triantis took a wee while to get into the game. I was surprised he got man of the match. His second half was good, but I thought first half he was making mistakes and struggling a bit, which would normally mean you don't get man of the match. But he did have a good second half. But Mariah Welsh I thought he was busy. And heard you on the phone in last night, and we've no mentioned that. But that volley for Boyle, that ball that Mariah Welsh picked, that was a beauty because he could have easily just swung that in, like one of the
Mhm.
ones that go to the back post, or even had some kind of attempt at a shot that wasn't going to go in. But the ball he picked out was beautiful. Like it's not just his effort in running about and putting tackles in. He's obviously got a bit of quality on the ball as well. Based on that, um,
I think he's a really promising player, Mariah Welsh. Like I think I'm glad that he's found a way into the team, albeit he's been a wee bit fortunate that other people have been misfortunate. With
yeah.
Levitt picking up an injury, Newell picking up an injury, Quan.
It's surprising he's
Um,
so far down the list, though. It's a
aye,
strange one when you see it.
well, consider he came in against Celtic because Quan couldn't play against them, and I think if Quan wasn't Celtic's players, he probably would have started that game,
Aye,
and then kept his place for assuming he would have kept his place for the derby as well. Whereas Mariah Welsh has grabbed his opportunity with both hands, and he's
aye,
definitely kind of worthy of that starting position. I I thought about Manny. I considered whether or not to put him in.
yeah,
There was a wee conversation about it on Hibsnet that I thought was interesting as well.
uh-huh.
And and these are games you want to chuck a player like that, like a new player in. And I think I can't remember if we talked about it as
We
well,
did.
but
We spoke about it
surely
last week.
you bring in a player to play in the team. Like
Aye, but he's got to
it's
prove that he's good enough though first, doesn't he? Oh, do you know, just chuck him in and then like sink or swim? Is that what you mean?
so there's an element of that, but he would have been training with the team. Like Gray will have a chance to look at him up close through
Yeah.
training, and you would have to think that they were confident enough that he's first team capable when they signed him.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, there's no point in bringing
Aye.
him in. Like if you think he's no better than what you've got there already, don't sign him.
Yeah.
Um,
Aye, to some extent. But I mean, he's came on, he's got less than 15 minutes and got sent off, and then he's not played again for a couple of weeks. So to throw
aye,
him in, he's not got at best. He's got to be on the bench and maybe coming on for extra time.
aye. Well, the decision that I landed on was not to put him in the team
Uh-huh.
after all that.
Aye.
But I would probably have him on the bench because I think we need to start giving him game time between now and the end of the season. Even if he is like the sort of the plan to play him next season. If
Yeah.
he's no considered to be better than the team we've got, then it's a stupid idea to have signed him. And if it is better, then let's get playing him because we want to give ourselves the best chance of kind of winning games, I suppose. Bowie and Boyle, no thought to Kukovic or Gale coming in there, Colin, or Yuan
No.
even.
Well, no. Johan's got to come back off the bench. And when he's placed back there, I think for me, like he's been out for that long, he's not coming straight back in to start.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Kukurevich, I suppose, for the point that he's a big gadge. So it might be depends on the tactics we play. But he had his chances at Parkhead this season, didn't he take them?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so would I want to give him the chance again to fix that, or would I want to give him the chance again to fuck it up again? I don't know. You know what I mean? That's why I think Bowie's a starter now. And
Aye.
Boyle scored at the weekend. They both scored in the last two games. You know what I mean? I don't think you start chopping and changing. Gale's can be an impact player off the bench as we've seen on Sunday. 20 minutes to whether close it down or maybe even go and try and win it, depending on where we are. He obviously played the ball for the third goal at Dundee United, and he came on and half the boy on Sunday as well as
Yep.
done loads of good stuff. So I think he's shown that he's good for that last 20-30 even. So I'd definitely have Gale on the bench because he's got something. Obviously, the level he's played it throughout his career.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't be starting him at the moment. No when Bowie and Boyle are scoring.
Aye, I agree. Like I say, I think other than the defenders, which I never quite noticed, that we're different. We're by and large on the same team.
I wouldn't change it if O'Hara's fit. I don't think O'Hara had a great half before he got injured on Sunday. Like I thought he was struggling a bit,
No,
gave the ball away, but that's not why I dropped him. It's because I think he's injured.
yeah,
If he's
okay.
not injured, I'd probably start him because I think he's got enough in the bank to justify a start. So it's not a he never played well, which I agree with. I'm not dropping
But
him for
that's
that. I
not why
think
you're
he's a,
dropping him.
aye.
Double Dangerous on YouTube says 2-2 after extra time and a Hibs win on pens. Davy Graniel said, "Hi guys, reckon we'll struggle our way to a win by one goal after extra time." Tom da Bombadil said, "Hello gents." David Graniel says, "Manny's quality." And Charlie Craig says 2-1 Hibs. Charlie Craig, is that the username for both Proclaimers?
I don't know.
Apologies if I've outed you there,
I wonder enough. I
twins.
know. I'm wondering if I know his dad.
Do you?
I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
I know a boy called Charlie Craig
All right.
who, who has a dad called Kevin.
All right. Well, Charlie Craig,
If
if your
it's them,
dad's
hello.
Kevin, say hello for Colin. Um, Right, we do sometimes have people email us in Teams as well, so we've got some of them that I'll just share with you now. I've not done the graphics for them because I'm lazy. Right, so we'll start with Joe from off of the phone in. So Joe had Smith, Miller, Rocky, Iredale, Cadden, Chantis, Levitt, Campbell, Nicky Cadden, Bowie, and Boyle. So no, a great deviation for our team, but he's gone with Miller and Cadden on the right hand side and played both
Yeah,
of them. I
I
wouldn't be
thought about
unhappy
that.
with that, Colin.
No, I thought about that. I did think about that, but then I thought let's go for the big defenders and let's have Miller playing that wing back to quieten the guy out there doing. Can't remember who it is, but you know the is it Maida? Can't remember whoever
Neither.
it is that he plays against. That he plays well against. Um, so no, I get that. I thought about it. I did think about it. I wouldn't drop Mariah Welsh for
Levitt.
Levitt. I know he's a Levitt fan and all that, like, and I know Levitt's played quite well. I just think Mariah Welsh has got the jersey at the moment.
Aye.
They're just keeping it warm though, like they are. They're just keeping it warm. It's unfortunate
Until
for them.
Newell comes back, you
It
mean?
must be a shit position to be in. Like, you know, Mariah Welsh knows he was like third or fourth choice. Levitt knows he's second or third choice. Newell or Manny comes in and takes it. They must know that. You know
Aye.
what I mean?
But that's not like I suppose it's not a bad position for the club to be in, and that you've got players there that you're saying like even for Joe Newell going back in, like he's going to have to be good when he goes back in.
Yeah,
He can't go in and like walk into the team and then no perform. He's going to have
yeah.
to prove that he deserves the jersey. Joe says 2-2 draw at full time. Hibs to remain unbeaten over 90 minutes, but to lose in extra time. Sandy said, "Hi, I'm Matty calling it John. Assuming O'Hara injured, this is my selection. If not, Miller at wing back and O'Hara plays. We can do it if we Sir David Gray it. Right, so he's got Smith, Miller, Bashiri, Ardale, Cadden, Chantis, Mariah Welsh, Nicky Cadden, Campbell, Boyle, and Bowie.
Yeah.
That CCNT is normally kind of
It's a bit, yeah.
it's
It's a
close.
bit,
It is close.
yeah,
Uh, quite disappointed. I saw it there. I was like, well, that had potential.
yeah.
Um,
So I
I
thought
don't.
about this. This is the team I thought about,
Mhm.
and then I changed that, you know, and put Ekpateta in, who I don't know if it's fit because he was on the bench at the weekend. But I don't know if he just
No,
lost that place because of the squad now. Like everybody's, back and fighting for a place. But I wouldn't be unhappy with that. If O'Hara's out, I wouldn't be unhappy with that team.
I don't mind it at all. And then Peter Faulds, who had given us our extra time topic. Thank you for that, Peter. This is his team, so he's used the Fan Hub app, but it does make the positions a wee bit squiggly sometimes.
It's
But I think
pish.
aye. I'm not just saying that because we suggested that they might want to sponsor us, and they just patched it.
Fuck them. It's
Fuck
pish.
them. That's why I'm still using Hibs app. And Hibs didn't sponsor us either, but I can point of principle. Smith it goes Miller, Bashiri, Iredale, Cadden, Chantis, Mariah Welsh, Cadden, Campbell, Bog, and Kieran Bowie. Again, much a muchness in it. This is like
Yeah, it's
we spoke
consistency.
about it
Yeah,
before. The,
yeah.
the the team's in a sort of good place
But this
at the
is where we
moment.
wanted to be. How many
Of
podcasts did
course,
we do talking about tombola selections and chopping and changing and blah 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 over the various last couple of managers or few managers? Now we're all coming in knowing 9, 10 of the players. In
aye.
fact, if O'Hara's fit, if there was no doubt there, we would just play the same team as the last weekend.
Mhm.
And everybody would be picking that. It's just the O'Hara stuff that folk are assuming he's out by the looks of this, unless folk are dropping him.
Aye, and the players aren't going to complain about it as well because like 3 wins in a
You
week.
know, aye,
Aye, the players can. Well, nobody complains when the team's winning. It's when the team's not winning and folk are getting a chance that
that's right. That's
they
when
sort
there's
of
no
complain.
leadership on that, and
Aye.
they need to clear it.
The form guide. So Celtic just edging it, even though they've got a defeat in there. They've got a point more over the last 6 games. That defeat, of course, coming to us. Should we be
Unjustly,
scared?
according to Willie Collum, eh?
Ah, fucking. Then I get me going on that.
I've not watched it yet. I've just seen the
I,
outcome.
I watched it. So they give the audio, and the
Uh-huh.
boys like, can I see it for that angle? Can I see it for that angle? Show us that one. Yep, you can see it. Balls out. Right, this is
So,
that's
so
it.
this is conclusive.
Aye, that's it. Happy with the balls out. Aye, happy with that. Aye. Right, give a goal kick.
Uh,
That's it. Great. Game goes on. Well, Collins like, oh well, you can't prove conclusively references of World Cup where it was on by like a fucking ball here.
that
Then it
bugging thing.
looked out right, and you go right, fair fucks. But I'm going, and then they go to the Albi one, the handball,
Aye.
and he says, "Well, there's no conclusive when it hit in his hand." You hear the audio. He says, "Look at the trajectory of the ball. It comes down. What's it hit his hand? Look at it. They slow it down. You can fucking see it. It's like I spoke about this before. Gaslighting, where they just go to deny what's right in front of their face."
But it's mad. He's no the referees have got that. So the VAR boys have got it right.
Hmm.
But Willie Collum's now gaslighting them and saying you've got it wrong. So they've had their knuckles wrapped thrown under the bus by their boss
Aye.
for doing what they think's right. So now they've got to be second guessing next time they're in the wee box.
So
Which has got to make it harder. You know, next time we'll see one and they'll go, no, I'm not getting it because well, it does. It looks obviously the ball's travelled in a different direction and all
Aye.
the that kind of evidence that what do you call it that evidence that's
Is one conclusive evidence, right? But
aye
what what's mental though, right, is you can't get like you have to watch it and slow it down and watch it, right, to see what's happened. If you freeze it at any point, there's never because it's a flat image. You can't fucking tell. Like you
yeah
couldn't say conclusively that's what happened. Like there was the look at the Rangers one where the boy gets his red card rescinded, and they say he's leading foot's no made contact with the guy. But it's the same thing. If you slowed it down and freeze framed it, you would never be able to say whether he's hit him or no. In
yeah
fact, even the St Mirren boy that smashed or he got his shoulder head butted by the Hearts player.
yeah
Um, if you slow it down, you can't actually see the contact with the shoulder with the head because the way that video works, like it's a frame, a frame, a frame, and
aye.
there's
So
kind of
so how
blurry,
did
there's
they do that one
movement.
then? Yeah
It's like you're either going to have to fucking massively upgrade your cameras, have more of them, and capture everything from fucking every angle, or you're going to have to work with what you've got. Otherwise, you're never making a decision.
uh-huh.
He just shat it. That was when I
Aye,
watched
because
it. I
they
was
two
like,
have been shouting the loudest.
aye,
That's exactly what it is. But but I mean, he's got to be thinking. I know the referees are paid a lot of money, so they might just fucking shut their puss and take their dough. But they report to him. Like if your boss hasn't got your back, and I'm not saying they should just back all the decisions like Dermot Gallagher and that
aye,
on the telly, but if there's evidence there and you can see why they've given that decision, to throw them under the bus like that because Celtic fans were going daft and Jim Goodwin's not shut his fucking mouth about it, that's pretty. The morale and the team there, and they'll now be second guessing going forward, and that's kind of the worry. Just hopefully
aye.
Celtic or Dundee United get one against them, like for that reason now, based on the noise they've created, and they go, can I give you it? Can I
I
give you
hope
that
so.
decision? It's inconclusive.
Um, Green Tea said, I think Newell will struggle to get back in. Davey says, team pretty much picks itself easily, 8 or 9 repeat picks, with the only changes are really strikers or central midfielders. And also, Willie Collum is such an unfortunate name. And
I know.
Ian Toghill, a couple of wavy emojis. So, hiya, Ian. He said, tickets sold out. Good show. It is a good show indeed. I'm presuming you're not talking about us and you're talking about it's a good show that Hibs have.
Aye.
We had the fans have bought all the tickets. What's the score
Come on,
going
we
to be,
didn't get
Colin?
folk messaging in saying, great show, guys. Did we?
I we do.
Kind of like
Aye.
you hear it on the radio. There was a radio show I used to listen to. They wouldn't read that out. Oh, it was Frank Skinner. It was Frank Skinner's when he used to do the radio on a Saturday. He wouldn't allow if somebody messaged in saying,
Great
and
show.
if one of the other ones read it out saying great show, he'd be like, no, get to the bit that they're messaging in about.
Aye.
That's what I'd like to pretend that's what we do.
That's what we do. Not even pretending. Every
Right.
now and again, I'll read one. If I like look at it, I'll read it just as a wee bit of an
Aye,
ego stroke for myself.
good.
But
Lovely.
uh, but
Um,
nah.
score. Right, I think it's a penalties. I think we win on penalties.
Do you?
Aye, 1-0 and
One up.
penalties. Yeah, got the
I
ball.
would say that. How are your nerves through penalties?
Oh, no good. No good. Like, aye. No, that no, at this stages of cups and that as well. Early rounds of the cups, it's no. You're almost like, well, we go out, we go out. But if you get that close to putting Celtic out,
Aye.
that's where you're. That aye, like the Dundee United semi final. Fucking hell.
Horrendous. There
Mm.
was for a long time there was a stat that Hibs hadn't lost a penalty shootout, and I can't remember the one that where it changed. It might have been fucking Hamilton.
Well, no, it was after. Was it Ming we lost one recently? Then we lost the points anyway because Bashiri had two bookings and the
Aye, but
boy.
that was after. I was the top of
It
Hamilton
was
when we got
after that.
relegated. Aye.
Aye, I know, but I thought it was after that the record. I thought when we went on a wee run because that's like 11 years ago now. Like,
Mm, aye. We kept it going for a long time. Um, Callum says probably about 60 frames per second. How can one show anything? and also great show, guys. Uh,
Thanks, Callum.
Kieran said before VAR it evened itself out. After VAR, it's evened itself out. Some investment. Davis smash the like button, and Ian confirmed it's not our show. It's just okay, and he's sticking with 1-2, a 2-1 to Hibs. I will go for. I think it's going to be a Syria now. Like I don't want to be the doom and I don't want to be the doom and gloomer, but I think Celtic will be bang up for it after we beat them a couple of weeks back. And that
this is what they've got left to play for, right? They've won the league. They're out of Europe.
Aye, that's it. This is them to make sure they get the treble. The game's huge for them, really.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be at it. The atmosphere is going to be good. Like it's got all the makings of a good game.
Have they sold their end out yet?
I don't know. They're
They
pretty
should
bad.
they get through the semi-final. I'm sure they'll be saying they'll not be doing their usual then.
They'll not be demanding the full whack of tickets if they get to the semi. What I hope is that we didn't concede early, like same as Easter Road. If we can score early, or just make sure we didn't concede, stay in the game into the second half.
Now at half time, and it's like they're going off and all that. That's what you know what I mean. It's I agree with you.
Stay in the game that long and
early kills that atmosphere.
Aye, totally. And we need a strong referee, which is the other thing that is going to be a problem for us because of the noise in the last couple of weeks. Normally, it's the wee guy with a whistle.
Is he always wee?
Well, yes, for where I sit, they're all wee. I'm right in the back of the West Stand.
There's always a guy.
Well, so far in these games, it has been. It'll be wee as well. I'm sure my seat's in the upper tier.
Right. It's Nick Walsh.
Well. Nick Walsh. Who's on VAR?
You know? Kevin Clancy.
Ah, fuck's sake. Well, it was a good wee cup run while it lasted. We'll get an for them. Imagine
Nick Walsh is the guy that gave them the 2 penalties at Easter Road that we didn't say fuck all about. Remember, like Giannis for the header and then Joe Newell put a tackle and like or a block in.
We need to.
He needs to even that up.
He needs to even up. Can you imagine if we won through another fucking mad VAR decision? It'd be tremendous. It would be.
I'd love
it'd be worth it.
Yeah.
Aye. Anyway, right, that is us out of time. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Thanks for sending in your teams. If you want to kind of tweet us with your score predictions and that, by all means do so. And we will be back on Sunday to review the game when we eventually get home. So thanks for tuning in.